Here we go, Stacy. And live streaming and making you host.
All right. You working out with us this morning, Max?
Yes. Please make me co-host.
Good morning.
Give me a minute here. Max, co-host. There you go, Max. You are now co-host. Good. All right. Good morning, everyone. 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. We're going to do some upper body strength training. A little bit of lower body, but the class mostly focuses on upper body. And we will be doing the class from the chair. You all will need some light weights. If you don't have weights, remember you can always use vegetable cans or soup cans or water bottles. I see my regulars and a couple of new faces, new names. Welcome everybody, returning learners as well as new faces, new folks. So happy to have you here. We have another sunny day here in Pennsylvania. I hope it's sunny where you are. I know part of the country is struggling with some flooding right now, so my heart goes out to them. Remember that during the class, I cannot read the chat because I will be over across the room demonstrating the exercises. But I do get a transcript of the chat after class. If you have a question for me and you need me to respond, you can ask the question in the chat and know that I'll see it. And if you want a response, give me your email address and I will do my best to reach out at some point in the next couple of days. The other thing that I do is I will often respond to questions in a subsequent class. Since I do teach Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock, I try to remember some of the things that people ask about, like shoulder mobility or upper back strength. And I do try to address those questions later. We have Max with us this morning from Get Set Up. He's the TA with us today, and he can answer any of your questions about audio or video complications. You can reach out to him directly in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. We have a challenging class today. I'm going to introduce a little bit of new abdominal work. You're going to love it. Yay. Let's put that out of the way. At least things are loading a little bit more quickly this week than last week. Here we go. Welcome to Wednesday Morning Fitness. Today is seated strength training, and I love that you're all with me today to start your day strong. I'm your guide. My name is Stacy. I have a master's in counseling psychology, and I worked in the school system for many, many years as a school counselor before retiring. But in addition, I've been teaching fitness and involved in the fitness industry since the mid-1980s. And I absolutely love fitness. It's my passion. It's truly my heart. I love answering questions, reading the latest research, and sharing that information with others. I especially love connecting with other adults who are interested in improving their health. Get Set Up is a training and educational platform that helps you learn useful skills from people just like yourself so that we can do fabulous things as we age in place and remain strong and independent in our homes. We do learn from one another, and this is a community. So if you will, please turn your cameras on. I love to see your faces or even just your arms moving. If you want to aim your camera upward, that works too. At least I know you're there and you're not just kind of sitting there stalking me. You can request a recording after class by email help@getsetup.io. And if you're joining by the live stream because you found us on the website, wonderful, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Just remember, the best way to participate is to join us and register for a class. Get Set Up is not paid to promote any specific products or services. Be sure to check with your doctor prior to beginning any new exercise program, especially if you have health conditions, take medications, are recovering from an injury or from surgery. Ask your doctor, what are my limitations? And if your doctor has suggested limitations or restrictions regarding exercise intensity or range of motion, please follow your doctor's recommendations, not anything I show or demonstrate. And I thank you for that. Safety is my primary concern. All right, so you'll need some water today. As always, when we exercise, you should drink before, during, and after. And I have my chair there so that we can do this exercise seated. I have a collection of weights with me. I have 2s and 3s today. And that's all that I'm going to be using unless I change my mind and grab the 1s later on. So let's go ahead and get started. You guys ready? All right, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and drink to get started. So we're going to do a bit of a warm-up, an upper body warm-up, particularly with the shoulders, because this class is heavy on shoulder work. I'm just giving you that warning up front. That is an area that tends to become weaker as we age, and we lose our range of motion often. So let's lift, inhale, reach, stretch, and release. So I'm taking in a big breath of air as I inhale up and exhale. Let me move the chair back a little bit. I might have to adjust the camera so, yep, my head is off the screen. I apologize. I want to make sure you can see my arms reaching up overhead. Probably don't need to see my legs as much. I think, see if that'll work. Let's try that inhale. Oh, did it adjust at all? Inhale up and exhale. Let's do one more time. Inhale, reach and stretch, and exhale. Hands right here on the top of your thighs, and let's go forward with a flat back, a long spine, reaching forward with a hinging action from your hips right here. Hinging forward, flat back. And when you reach the extent of where you are able to bend, release your back into a rounded curve and hang forward, relaxing through the spine, and allow there to be a separation between your vertebrae. Finally, drop your head and to come up, place your hands right behind your knees on the top of your thighs. Use your arm strength to help press back up into this upright position. And let's take that again. Hands right here for support. Hinge forward, long spine. And when you reach the extent of the distance you can bend, relax your back and round over, reaching down toward the floor. And finally, relax your neck, letting your head just hang forward. Hands back up on top of the knees right here and press back up into the upright position. Let's loosen up our neck a little bit. Chin over the right shoulder, looking to the side, but your torso continues to face forward. Feeling that stretch in the opposite side of your neck, right along from the ear to the shoulder. Release, go through the center, looking forward, and continue right over to the left. Chin over the shoulder. Remember to breathe as you're stretching. And release. Let's drop the chin to the chest. And now you're going to roll your head to the side so that your ear winds up over the shoulder and you are looking forward. Take the chin and drop down toward the chest. Roll your head through center and over to the other side, ear over the shoulder. You're looking straight ahead. And release. Let's do an upper body torso twist to the side. From the waist up, take your upper body, looking over toward the side. It's the same thing we just did with our head, but now we're going to activate more of our body. We are strengthening the oblique muscles on the side where we're turning and stretching the muscles on the opposite side. Hold on to the side of your chair if you can, or the side of your thigh if that works better for you. Continue to breathe at a normal rate and rhythm through your stretch. Release, and let's take that spiral to the other side. Holding on to the edge of the chair or the side of your thigh. Sit up nice and tall in the chair. Diaphragm is lifted. And release, facing forward. Just a reminder about positioning in the chair. A comfortable spot to be is sitting midpoint from the back of the chair to the front edge. This will give you plenty of room for range of motion of your arms as we work the weights. You want your torso to be straight and tall in a vertical position. Your diaphragm is lifted so that you can feel the space between the top of your hip bones and the bottom of your ribs. You want to feel that space in there. That is your abdominal girdle, and you want that to be nice and tight. That is the center, the foundation of core strength is the abdominal muscles, but also includes your hips and the muscles of your back. So let's sit up nice and tall, and I want you to pull that belly button in toward your spine, pull it in, and we're gonna round the back forward in a nice cat stretch. So we did this hanging forward. Remember, we had a nice round C curve to the spine, but now we're doing it from the vertical position. So remember, the belly button is pulled in tight against the spine. That's the first action for this stretch. And then allow the rest of your spine to follow in a curve. with the shoulders rounded forward, but not rounded inward, just rounded forward. And eventually your head can drop slightly. Now reverse that position by imagining a string goes through your belly button, hooks around your spine, and pull forward, sitting nice and tall, stretching long. This is the cow stretch, and I'm hinged forward ever so slightly so that I can place my hands on my knees and give a little extra oomph to the stretch by pressing on my knees and lengthening my spine, pressing my tailbone back and down, and the top of my head up. And relax. We're going to lean forward with a flat back in a hinged position and support our body right here using our forearms. Now remember, in this class, I often recommend the optional use of pillows for additional support, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So although we are using our arms to support our upper body, if you want a little extra support, place a throw pillow or two on your lap, and you'll be able to lean on them as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to lubricate our shoulder joints a little bit, giving our shoulders a nice round up, warm up, getting the synovial fluid in your joint out. So we're going to draw little circles. Allow your arm to hang loose by your side. Just allow it to hang, let gravity do the work. And now imagine that you are drawing little circles on the floor. The first circles would be the size of a quarter, really little tiny circles. And then gradually you're going to enlarge the circles. So your next circle is the size of an orange, and do 4 or 5 at your own speed. We are warming up those shoulder joints, getting them ready for some weight training. Go a little bit larger, the size of a basketball. And even larger, if you're able and have that range of motion available to you this morning, draw a circle the size of a beach ball. Nice and big. And now reverse direction, but we're going to continue with the large beach ball sized circle and reverse the direction, doing 4 or 5 at your own rate. Gradually bringing the size of that circle into the size of a basketball. And then even smaller to the size of an orange. And finally, to the size of a quarter. This exercise, working on the range of motion for your shoulders, can be done every day, and it's great if you struggle a little bit with range of motion with your shoulders. All right, let's do the other side. Supporting your forearm right here. Allow that other arm to just hang and let gravity do its work. I'm going to put the pillows aside so you can see my arm a little better. I just wanted to show you how you can use the pillows for support. So start with very small circles, the size of a quarter. Do 4 or 5 at that size, and gradually increase to the size of an orange, taking those circles at your own pace. A little bit larger to the size of a basketball. If this is uncomfortable for you as the circles get larger, just continue to do the smaller circles and you will still benefit from lubricating the joint. And finally, if you're able, continue to make larger circles, the size of a beach ball right here. And after you do 4 or 5 at your own pace, reverse your circle and go in the opposite direction, making the large circle and then gradually getting smaller. Bringing it down to the size of a basketball and to the size of an orange. And finally, to the size of a quarter. All right, and now that your shoulders are warmed up, let's grab a light weight and let's get started. I'm gonna start with 2 pounds. I'm gonna do one arm at a time so that I can use that support for my upper body, because we wanna be angled forward at a 45-degree for these exercises. I'm supporting my torso with my forearm right here, just like we were with the lubricating the shoulder joint exercise that we just did. Start with the weight down by your feet, down, hang it low by your ankle, and we're going to lift forward, return, lift side, and return, and lift to the back, and return. Lift forward, lift side, no higher than shoulder height, but if that is too much for you, keep it a smaller lift. Remember not to work through pain, grinding, creaking, crackling, or popping. So when I lift forward, my palm is facing down. When I lift to the side, my palm is facing down. And when I lift to the rear, my palm is facing in toward my body. Lift front, return, lift side, return, and to the back. Front, side, and back. I want you to think about what muscles you feel being activated with this lift. Other than your deltoid muscles on the top of your shoulder, what do you feel in your upper back? You might feel your shoulder blades sliding in toward your spine because you're activating the muscles underneath. Front, this is the last round, side, and back. Pull the weight up into your armpit with the elbow lifted high. Continuing with this angled forward position and using the pillows for additional support if you need to. We're just doing one set of 8 right here. Hold that weight lightly, just tight enough so you don't drop it. You don't want to squeeze your weight. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Release. Let's switch arms. Taking the weight into the other hand, starting with the weight down by your ankle. Make sure your upper body is supported. If this arm is getting tired and you don't want to do the support that way, be sure you use the throw pillows for additional help. Lifting front, side, and back. Here we go. One set of 8. Front, side, and back. Front, side, and back. Front, side, and back. Make sure you have good control on the lift and the return, the lowering of the weight. Lift to the side and return and to the back. 3 more. Front, side, and back. 2 more. Front, side, back. Last one. Front, side, and back. Pull up into the armpit, elbow goes nice and high, right here. We're just doing 8. Control that weight, hold it lightly. Are you having fun yet? I hope you're smiling because this feels so good. 4 more. And 3. 2 more. Last one. Release. Now, the next exercise we're going to do is actually for our abdominals, and we're going to be working on the obliques with a twist side to side. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Level 1 is sitting right here upright and holding the weights in front of you. You can use just one weight if you prefer, but if you feel like you're ready, use both and hold them together right here in front of your chest. And we're just going to twist side to side. So you're kind of leading with your elbow, taking your elbow around to the back and coming back forward. Now this is level 1. Level 2 is a back tilt. Now this is a little bit more challenging, and in this position, twisting side to side activates those abdominal muscles really well. If we were doing this on the floor, we would be sitting with our knees bent. So remember, you can do this in the vertical position if you prefer, or give it a try right here in the hinged back position. 4 more, right and left. 3 more, right and left. 2 more, right and left. And here's the last one. Great, a nice interlude after the shoulders, but we're back at it. Let's do some overhead presses, starting right here at the shoulders. We're just gonna lift one up, return, and then alternate sides. Now, when we lift overhead, be sure to keep the weight slightly in front of your body. They should actually remain within your peripheral vision right here. That way you have more control. It's a safer position both for your shoulders as well as just the overall stability of the weight. This is especially important once you start to lift heavier weights, that you have this position correct. Three more, right and left. Two more. Last one. Now we're going to get a little bit more challenging, so it's a good thing that we warmed up those shoulders. The next exercise is going to be out to the side and bringing the weights in forward. Now modify this by keeping your arms bent and not reaching with fully extended arms. You can also modify by using lighter weights or no weights at all. It's more challenging to have fully extended arms, but don't lock your elbows. Open side, bring the weights together in front of the body. Your arms are shoulder height. You're going to feel this in the front of those shoulders. Keep your back upright. Remember, diaphragm is lifted, open, and bring those weights together. Open side, bring the weights together. Open side. 3 more. 2 more. Here's the last one. And release. Open the legs ever so slightly so that your thighs are aiming out over the corner of the chair, sitting further front on the edge of the chair. Weights start down by your hips, and we're going to pull them right up under the chin. Elbows bent and elbows going high. See that position? Right here. Remember, diaphragm is lifted, abs are tight. Keep your spine upright. Keep your breathing through these exercises smooth and at your normal rate and rhythm. We are working with very light weights, so you don't need to focus on the inhale and exhale as you do with heavy weight lifting. And 4 more. Do what feels natural to you. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Hold it right here and press forward and pull in. Forward, and actually my elbows should not be going high. Keep the elbows level and pull in, forward, in, press forward and in. Pressing forward, feeling this along the back of the neck, through the upper back, slide those shoulder blades in together as you pull back. Feel that in your upper back as well as in your shoulders. Press forward, pull it in. 2 more, right here. Pull in, last one. Pull in, arms by your hips, and we're just gonna lift to the side. Right here, and return, nice and slow. Lift and return. Pull it up and return, lift and return. Lift. We're working all the different muscles in the shoulder. Remember, on the deltoid, there are 3. There's 1 in the front, 1 right in the middle, and 1 in the back. And it's important that we address all 3 of those. Lift and lower. 3 more. And 2 more. Last one. Return and relax. Let's do a little bit of biceps and triceps work. So I'm going to go with my 3 pounds. I'm also going to get a little bit of water. Remember to drink while we're exercising. Every 10 to 15 minutes, you should take a break and drink a bit of water. All right. I like to sit a little bit further forward on the chair to work biceps so that I have a better range of motion and can actually have my weights down here by my hips and not bang into the chair too much. So we're going to do a full curl. Palms are facing up. And we're going to do that series of 3 with the varying counts. So we're going to lift on 1 and lower 1, 2, 3. Keeping the movement smooth and controlled. Lower 1, 2, 3. Lift and lower 1, 2, 3. Lift and return 1, 2, 3. Lift and lower 1, 2, 3. 4 more. Lift and lower 1, 2, 3, lift and return. 2 more right here, lift and return. 1, 2, 3, and finally lift and lower. 1, 2, 3. Staying right here in the same position, lift for 2 counts and lower for 2. Make sure you have your torso nice and straight, tall and strong. Diaphragm is lifted. Good posture. Shoulders are back. Hopefully your neck is relaxed. We don't want any extra stress right there. Lift and lower, 2 up and 2 down. I'm counting on you sometimes to do that counting to yourself. I don't know, sometimes it's annoying to hear the instructor count constantly. I don't know how you feel about that, but I've been told not everybody enjoys it. Just 2 more right here. Up for 2 and down for 2. Here's the last one. Now you know the next round. We're gonna lift for 3 counts and then lower for 1. Like this, 1, 2, 3, and down. Lift, 1, 2, 3, and down. Lift, 1, 2, 3, and down. Remember with biceps curls, at least with these, your elbows are tight in by your waist. If I didn't mention that before, I'm sorry. I usually start with that message. Just 3 more. Don't squeeze the weights. It's easy to squeeze the weights during biceps curls. I find myself doing it. Just 2 more right here and down. Here's the last one. And release. Great with those biceps curls. Let's work the triceps a little. And since we need to hinge forward, we're going to have to use 1 arm at a time. And we're going to hinge forward with a straight back, leaning on the forearm. And we start with your weight right here by your waist. Elbow nice and high and press toward the back of your body. Extend and return. It's a small movement. This is a smaller muscle, the triceps, smaller than the biceps, and not worked as often. So these muscles work in opposition to one another, and we always would like to work them together. So we just did the biceps, and now we're going to do the triceps. Out and in. Out and in. 2 more right here. And then we're going to switch arms. We're going to do 3 sets of 8, but we're going to switch arms, giving our arm just a little bit of a rest in between. So let's switch and do 8 on the other side. Leaning forward, extend, and return. Out and in. And in. Do you find that one arm is stronger than the other? One biceps and triceps muscle seems to be able to handle a little bit heavier weight or doesn't tire as quickly. That is normal. Everybody has one side that's a little stronger than the other. And I always recommend starting with your weaker side. Get it over with, right? All right, we're back to the first side for another set of 8. And let's extend on 1 and lower on 3. Starting right here at the waist, take it out, and then in 1, 2, 3. Extend, return, 1, 2, 3. Take it out and in, 1, 2, 3. You got it. I don't need to keep counting, right? You know what we're doing. 4 more. And 3. 2 more. Last one. And let's switch arms. Now, if you're feeling really strong and want want to really challenge yourself, you don't need to switch the arms as I'm doing. It's an option, but if you do all 3 sets on the same side, you're going to put more tension and stress into that muscle. If that's your goal, you can go ahead and challenge yourself that way. So here we are in our starting position, and we're going out on 1 and return for 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're just doing 8. Out, bring it in. 1, 2, 3. Take it out and return. 1, 2, 3. Press it back. Return. 1, 2, 3. And press. Return. 1, 2, 3. 4 more. And 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Let's do just one more set of 8. And this time you can do whatever count you want to do. I'm just going to do out and in 2 counts each way. So it's no particular change in rhythm. Right here for 8. Out and in. So I'm thinking in my head, out for 2 and in for 2. That just keeps the pace slow and smooth for me. And that's the goal in your weight training, is not to jerk the weights, but rather to keep the movement smooth and controlled. 3 more. 2 more. And here's the last one. Oh, 1 more set to the other side. Are we having fun, you guys? Woo! Here we go. And out for 2 and in for 2. And out, in, out for 2 and in for 2. 4 more right here. Out. We're on the home stretch. 3 more. You did it. 2 more. Woo! Last one. All right. Take a little rest right here and give yourselves a hug. We worked some shoulders. Woo! And let's switch. Other arm on top, reaching around. And press the arms back along the side, this way behind the body. You want to feel that stretch from your shoulder down your arm. It's very hard to stretch your biceps muscle. One of the ways people often do it is by using a wall and placing the hand with the fingers pressed away from them, and then pressing into that kind of move. See how I'm moving forward? And that gives me a bit of a stretch through my biceps. And you may be able to do something similar with the chair in this manner. So it's not an easy muscle to stretch at all, but you do want to give a little bit of relief to the tension that we just built up. All right, so we have to do a little bit of back work. We going to finish up with that today. So we're going to start with our seated deadlifts. So we have our weights down by our feet, our thighs face forward, knees bent at 90 degrees. Our toes are also facing forward, and we're going to just hinge forward, picking up these weights. Lift so the weights come up to your knees and return. Right here, lift and return. Now you may want to do this without weights if this is your first time. You could also use 1 weight and use your arm for support and just experiment with how strong is your lower back. This exercise focuses on your hips and your low back. And if done correctly, Right here, as you initiate the movement, you're going to feel that squeeze in your seat. And then as you come further up, you will feel it in the low back and maybe a little bit in the mid back. And return. So lift and return. It's very important that you keep your back flat and you're not doing it like this with a rounded back. That's going to put way too much stress and strain on the long muscles of your spine. So starting here, remember, flat back, nice and long, and come up and return. Lift and return. Let's do 4 more. Lift and return. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Great job. Now the next exercise is good mornings, and it's almost the same motion, but we start upright and we bow forward and return. Now, to start with this exercise, you would probably not want to use weights. If you're just beginning to use weights and you're familiar with how this muscle action works in your body, you could work with the weights at your waist, but the most advanced and more challenging position is to have the weights on your shoulders. Sitting up nice and tall, diaphragm is lifted, protect your back, and just hinge forward from the hips and return. And you know, you don't have to go very far. If you're just starting out, maybe you want to just hinge forward ever so slightly and return. If you've done this before and you can take a little bit more motion through your hips and you have that strength, hinge forward further. And if you are truly challenging yourself this morning and you have that hip flexibility and strength, you can go forward to the extent that your hips will allow. Forward and return. Forward and return. Forward and up. Keep this movement nice and smooth, and you are in control. Forward. Just one more right here. Just give me one more good one. And up. Very nice. Let's put the weights down and get into some stretching. I'm going to have a little bit of water. Inhale, reach up nice and tall, and we're going to do that stretch that we did in the very beginning. Hinge forward as far as you can go, and when you've reached the extent of your hip range of motion, allow your spine to roll forward in a curved position, right over your thighs, knees in your armpits if you have that hip flexibility available to you this morning. And allow your arms and hands to just dangle toward the floor. And finally, relax your neck and let your head fall forward. Focus on putting space between each and every one of your vertebrae. And then use your arms, place your hands right above your knees and press yourself back up into a sitting position. So there's no more stress on your spine. You've used your arms for that. And you might feel that in your biceps because we worked them hard today. All right, let's lift up. We're going to do our letter stretch for posture. Right here, nice and tall. Open your arms into a V position. Thumbs facing back. Thumbs facing the back wall. And now I want you to take those arms and press them behind the midline of your body while you're sitting nice and tall. And feel the contraction in your upper back. Feel your shoulder blades working to pull your entire arm back. This is posture correction at its finest right here, working on the round shoulderedness that occurs naturally with all the things we do forward. I was noticing yesterday when I was driving how round shouldered it made me, just driving in my car. Elbows down and back. Palms now are facing forward. And feel that contraction. Shoulder blades are really pressing inward toward the spine right now. They've slid in toward the center. Arms out to the side, pinkies back, and press those arms behind the midline of the body. I'm running into the wall here, so that's why I'm hinging a little bit, but you can remain upright. Just reach back. And then elbows in. Palms are up, thumbs facing back. And release. I want you to take your shoulders in nice circles, reminding them of all the work we did today, but getting them to relax a little bit, remembering the range of motion that we developed in the beginning today of this session. Take these shoulder circles at your own pace and your own size. So maybe your shoulder circle is smaller right here. Or maybe you can reach your shoulders up to your ears and around to the back. And then let's reverse direction. Back first, around and front. Back, around, and front. At your own pace. Saying, hey shoulders, we worked you today. Now you can relax. But remember the range of motion that we developed. All right, arms up, facing me, palms up, thumbs in toward the center and down. Palms up, palms down, palms up, palms down. Hold palms up and tilt. Thumbs in, pinkies down, rotate. Thumbs down and pinkies down. Rotate. Thumbs down, pinkies down. One more. Rotate. Thumbs down, pinkies down. Now take one arm across the body. Take your other arm and press on the back of the arm above the elbow. Never press on a joint. We're stretching out our triceps here, but we want to be pressing. If we're pressing this arm closer to our body, we want to make sure we're not pressing on the elbow. Wiggle your fingers. And now let's take it overhead if you can and reach again above the elbow and just press back if you're able. Allow your hand to go down behind your back right here if you have that range of motion available to you. And release. Let's take the other arm across the body, pressing above the elbow on the back of the upper arm. Wiggle those fingers, getting a full relax through your arm. And then up overhead. Arm is slightly behind your head and you're pressing above the elbow, allowing your hand to go back here if you are able. and release. Give yourselves a big hug. Again, one arm is over top of the other and your elbows are high and facing forward, and hold on to wherever you can reach. Can you reach your upper arms or hold on to your deltoids, or a little bit more around the back where you're grabbing onto your shoulder blades? Sit nice and tall. Fingers should be spread. Wherever you are that you're holding on, relax those fingers. And release. Open the arms to the side, and let's do that hug again with the opposite arm over. And release. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll stay with me for a little bit of breath work, some positive affirmations, and then I'll share my thank you slides. Today, when I was going through the cards to select my thoughts for today, there were so many that spoke to me, I almost didn't know what to choose. So I'm going to allow you to do the breath work on your own and not talk too much about it. I'll give you some prompts. Sit in your chair in a comfortable position. Either close your eyes and listen to the sound of my voice, or find a spot in front of you where you can focus your gaze and just listen and become aware of your breathing. Notice the rise and fall of your rib cage as your lungs expand and contract. And today you pick the color for the intake of air, the positive and joyful air that I speak to every day. Usually I pick the color, but today you pick your color. And if you feel prompted to do so, tell me what your color is in the chat so I can read it afterwards. And listen to some of these fabulous affirmations for today. I release all feelings of worry and guilt. If this one resonates with you today, release those feelings of worry and guilt. I live my life in my own way. Love is my gift to the world. Feeling love in your heart is what contributes to joy, positivity, and gratitude. If you are harboring anger and hatred, it's very, very hard to access joy and gratitude. So I encourage you to find that love. We all have it, but sometimes it's easy to forget about it, especially if we've been hurt through our lives. Today, I choose to perceive the peaceful side of life. There's so much going on that's negative and not in harmony, but I'm going to just focus on the peaceful side of life. Today, my mental pattern is positive and joyful. And finally, true happiness resides within me. True happiness. It's a choice to find joy and let that be your focus. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're here with me every morning. If you're unable to sign up and register, you can usually find us live streaming on the web as well as on the Get Set Up Facebook page. So let me come up and share my thank you screen. Thanks again for joining me today. If you are on social media, you can share your experiences about Get Set Up by using the hashtag Get Set Up, or use @GetSetUp, or you can email Liz at getsetup.io. Liz cannot send you a recording of the class. Remember that for a recording of the class, you must email help@getsetup.io. Look for some other related classes today to get moving. It's going to be a gorgeous day and a great day to move your body. Maybe you would like Ageless Grace, or learn some line dancing or the hustle, or find one of the yoga classes that meets your needs today. Today we had seated strength training. Tomorrow I will be teaching the fitness combo, which is a little bit of everything, and it's done in a circuit training format with timed exercises. It's so much fun. And Friday we focus on balance and flexibility. Be on the lookout for the email from today's class, where you'll receive some notes from today's class, some key takeaways, and you'll also find some other classes that might be of interest to you. And there will be a link where you can provide feedback about today's class. And I read all the feedback, so be sure and share your thoughts and feelings. I love reading your feedback. You can now refer a friend right from our website. If you have somebody that you would like to encourage that they get involved in Get Set Up and take our many classes, you can invite them right here. Look for this screen with the blue tab, invite a friend, and that will prompt you to enter your friend's email address. And then you can click the orange tab to automatically send that email. This is the most important email to remember. Write this one down and put it in a safe place. It's help@getsetup.io. That's how you can request a session recording, host an interest group, or suggest a new topic for a class that we would provide. As well as you could share an organization in your community that we might like to partner with. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Stacy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.